Hello, welcome to another read along with Jordana. Today we're going to be talking about the only graphic novel I have read to date, New Kid. New Kid was written and illustrated by Jerry Craft and published on February 5th of last year, 2019. Man, a lot has happened in the last couple of years. Seems like a long time ago now. Now, this book is a big deal and has been recognized as such. It has won so many awards. I just pulled up like a list and I didn't even know these sorts of awards existed. Best New Gift Books for Kids. Amazon has a Book of the Month award, ages 9 through 12. And then obviously the big ones like the Newbery Medal, New York Times bestseller. This is going to be made into a movie now. Universal Pictures has bought it, and LeBron James is going to be helping to develop and produce it. And this book is for, I would say, a 7th grade reading level. Why am I reading it? I'm reading it because it's required for our incoming 7th, 8th, and 9th graders at my school, and I teach 9th grade. This book is definitely below a 9th grade reading level, but it's about the new kid, right? So I think it's still appropriate for a 9th grader to read it, even though it is a little on the easy side for them. The protagonist himself is in 7th grade too. The protagonist is a kid from Washington Heights who gets into a school called Riverdale. I'm not from New York. I had heard of it from reading another book, actually, How Children Succeed. Riverdale Academy is apparently very fancy-pantsy, prestigious. One of the things I appreciated about reading this book is that they actually showed that not everyone is wealthy, not everyone comes from fancy-pantsy backgrounds. Like they talk about how there are some scholarship students there. It's really interesting that they put this into a book. If you are a scholarship kid attending a school like that, you may feel embarrassed or you may feel guilt about that, or you may even try to hide it. It can be difficult to try to get along with your classmates if they go on fancy trips all the time and you don't have the same kind of money that they have. One of the characters in the book goes on vacation because he's trying to fit in with his wealthier peers, and the school gets upset because he is a scholarship kid. So they're like, what are you doing going on this vacation when we're giving you money to come here because we thought you didn't have any money? This book is all about finding your place in a new school, which can already be so hard when you're trying to just figure out who you are, especially if you're in middle school or beginning in high school. Anyone can relate to that if they've started at maybe a newer, bigger school, or maybe they've transferred schools. I know in my case, I don't have exactly the same experience, but I did go from itty bitty Bakersfield Elementary School in Vermont to a much larger high school. And yeah, it was a little scary to meet new people and be in classes with people you've never seen before. In this case, the book also, it's not just about being in a new school, but it's important to read if you're maybe going into a school with a different socioeconomic background than the majority of the kids at the school, or a different racial background compared to a majority of the kids at the school. So there's a lot of different entry points that someone reading this book can relate to the protagonist on. I just was like, man, I wish I understood these New York references, since I don't really understand a whole lot about like what's in Washington Heights versus anything about Riverdale besides what I read in How Children Succeed. There was one part in the book where he's talking about the bus ride from his house to the school, how when he first gets on his ride in the morning, he has to act like all tough and like, hoodie on, don't mess with me. And he describes through pictures, because it's a graphic novel, each successive part of the trip as he gets closer and closer to the school. And by the time he's finally like at the school, hoodie's off, he's sitting upright, and he's talking about how he loves math, which really is just another way of saying, don't mess with me. You're trying to be all these different people on one bus trip. That's a lot to deal with before a kid even gets to school. So a lot of it is about finding out who you are, what you're comfortable with, what your identity is, and how you can feel happy in your environment. Now, here is my question for you, YouTube watchers and listeners. There is another scene in the book where one of the characters, who happens to be Black, is gifted a milk chocolate Santa for Christmas, and he's upset by it. I am on a constant quest, to learn, improve myself, be a better person. So that one instance surprised me in the book because I was coming from a perspective of representation matters, And if you go into really any place that sells Christmas decorations, you see a lot of Black Santas. So I was surprised that the character in the book was upset at receiving the chocolate Santa because he thought it was a Black Santa. It turns out that the person who gave it to him just gave it to him because he likes chocolate. It wasn't about race. So my question for all of you is a chocolate Black Santa, is the default for that sort of thing a no? Is it too racial then to give someone a chocolate Santa? Or is that just part of representing Santa as maybe being Black now? Which I thought was normal now, because I thought I had seen it a lot when you go out to, like, stores around Christmas and they have all the Christmas decorations out. Or is that not what you're supposed to do, because Santa, I think, comes from various European traditions? So I obviously know what the author thinks about this, but I'm not going to pretend that the author speaks for everyone. So I'm really curious about what you think. Would this be offensive if you got this? Is this something maybe you've done? And this is, of course, not to say that this is the most important issue that the book brought up. What do you think? And I especially think, if you have either some experience with gifting or receiving or feeling some sort of way about a milk chocolate or dark chocolate or white, just chocolate Santas. What's the deal with this? I need to know before Christmas. Tell me in the comments below. Keep it respectful. Try to refer to my question and not if other people in the comments are saying things that you don't agree with. I'm old and grizzled, and I remember the days when YouTube first started. And I know that the YouTube comments can be a very scary place. And it's not even Halloween yet! So please, if you're going to say anything, keep it respectful and direct to the question. I want people to be nice to each other. I like nice people. Now, if you're interested in reading this book yourself, or maybe you want to gift it to someone in your life who you think would enjoy it, or maybe your school is also making it a required summer reading for incoming 7th, 8th, and 9th graders like my school was. If you're thinking of getting this book, may I make a suggestion? I didn't buy it from Amazon. I bought it from a store called I See Me. And there's lots of reasons to support this bookstore. For one, there is an I See Me Foundation associated with the I See Me bookstore. And their mission is to promote literacy and a love for reading among low-income households. And I love that, because I love reading and I want to promote reading too. They give free books to individuals who might need it. You can donate to them. There's an easy way to do it right on the website. They also advocate for increasing diversity within the literature that schools cover. They also do literacy camps, summer camps. I also like that their business is able to diversify a little bit within our current pandemic. So if you're looking for a business that you think is worth supporting from an economic standpoint, they do book bundles, they do book subscriptions, they have audiobooks. Even though they're closed for in-person book sales, they are shipping. And if you order over $100 worth of books, which is kind of easy for me to do because I just build up a list of books that I want and I order them all at once, then you get free shipping. If there's one thing I've learned, it's to follow the money. So also, vote with your dollars. Support businesses that you actually like. Their mission really is representation matters. That's taken from their website. And also, who really wants to support Amazon right now? I mean, okay, let me not be hypocritical. I still buy things from Amazon all the time. But I try to support local businesses or small businesses more since Amazon has now gotten so big and has infiltrated so much of our society. Down with the monopolies! Down with the monopolies! Local business first! Small business first! Vermont has a great propaganda program promoting local business. I've grown up listening to radio ads and such that say, local business first! Local business first! I think the current jingle goes something along the lines of, think local business first. I See Me, just to be clear, is not local to Vermont. So the shipping, if you're trying to be environmentally conscious, the shipping is, a concern concern, but Amazon also has shipping as a concern. So I feel like that kind of balances each other out. All right, that was another read along with Jordana. Thank you for staying along and reading along and listening along. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about next. Answer my question, and if you did like this video, please click like and maybe even subscribe to my channel. Bye. I like nice people.